Ladies and gentlemen, so this evening our incredibly generous overlords over at Kabam HQ have blessed us with a wealth of information. We've already done a video breaking down the Nick Fury initiatives, along with talking about and confirming the buffs to She-Hulk and Spider-Gwen. And She-Hulk's exactly the same as she was on beta, but Spider-Gwen has a couple more bits and pieces. However, the question on everybody's mind, is the Gamora buff going to be any good? Because there was no beta for Gamora. This one has come out of left field. And definitely surprised a few people. Now, we've got all of the information here, the actual values, the actual abilities, and a couple of brand new synergies that weren't in the data mined information as well. So, a fair bit to talk about today, so let's go ahead and start breaking it down. So, the first thing is she's getting a bit of a PI bump. As you can see, this is all based on 4-star maxed out champion values, just as a bit of a heads up there, so goes up just over 300. Also, in terms of Special 2 and Special 3, these are getting significantly increased damage multiplier ratings. So the new damage of her Special 2 is 150% of attack rating, up from 100%. And to be fair, man, Gamora's Special 2, it was already like fairly decently hard hitting there. And the Special 3 has had a pretty mega increase of 150% attack rating damage. So that one is going to be very, very nice as well, especially with Suicide Masteries, if you're a fan of that, and her signature ability, which we'll talk about in a second. Now, in terms of her abilities, light attacks have a 30% chance to gain a Fury buff, granting 304 attack for 9 seconds. Now, this attack is equivalent to 25% of her base attack. So if you manage to get 6 of these and you can refresh the buffs, that's 150% more attack. And to the best of my knowledge and kind of reading down this, it looks like you can infinitely stack the Fury and cruelty buffs, and it's 30% chance on a medium for the cruelty and 30% chance on a light for the Fury there. So in the average combo, you're probably going to gain almost always gain 1, but again, it's not absolutely guaranteed there, but most of the time you'll probably gain 2 of these buffs. So that's pretty good, man. For the average combo, getting 25% more attack, and also some bonus critical damage rating as well. So a very nice kind of combination of stuff that really does ramp up the damage. And also, for every 5 seconds of the fight that has passed, they gain plus 5% duration. So after a minute, they've got plus 60% duration, and that's the max. And according to kind of some very quick math that I've done, when 60 seconds have passed, this buff duration is going to increase from 9 seconds all the way up to 14.4 seconds, but you could also increase it a little bit further via the Fury Mastery as well, but I don't think that's going to affect the cruelty, but you know, it might be of decent benefit to Gamora if you do want to go hardcore Gamora gameplay and invest in that. And then heavy attacks can refresh the duration of personal cruelty and Fury buffs. So once you get kind of really deep into a fight, I think it's going to be the fairly like standard rotation of like 2-5 combos and then heavy attack to refresh. So in the scenarios when you can weave that in, her damage is going to ramp up like crazy, man. It should be a really, really solid damage ramp up there, but it doesn't specify anything about a cap. And I think this is very, very subject to a cap. But even if she can get, let's say, you know, like 10 stacks of the Fury and 10 stacks of the cruelty, that's 250% more attack and like over 2,000 additional critical damage rating. So those two combined, man, are going to make her hit very, very hard. But if it can stack even higher than that, and I don't really see why it wouldn't be able to, because they're giving She-Hulk the ability to stack Furies like absolute insanity. So yeah, if that goes up even more, man, it's just going to be just so crazy for Gamora's damage output. And also, they've slightly changed how some of the special attacks function. So the special attack 1, all the special attacks, the special 1 and 2, have 100% chance to critical hit, but the special 1 also has 100% chance to inflict a bleed, dealing the equivalent of 100% of Gamora's base attack as direct damage over 5 seconds. And again, you're going to have a very nice benefit if you've got the Deep Wounds Mastery, because this will give it like 50% more damage, because it will increase it to 7.5 seconds there. So a really nice benefit from Deep Wounds on the SP1. The special attack 2 has 100% crit chance and also an 80% chance, I assume, on hit to armor break, and it has, I think it's 2 hits at the moment, removing an enemy armor up and applying 667 armor rating reduction for 14 seconds. Now, As far as this reduction goes, it's an alright armor break reduction, but it's for 14 seconds, so this is going to be very, very useful in certain fights for kind of getting rid of armor ups, and also having that armor debuff that counters stuff like Emma Frost Diamond Form and Killmonger's damage back as well. So just adds, you know, a bit more utility to the champion, and we are seeing kind of a good level of value in armor break across the board. So yeah, it's not too bad, man. There are certainly a few matchups where that does come in useful. And finally, we've got the Special 3, 100% chance to gain a True Strike buff, allowing attacks to ignore armor, evasion, and auto block, and resistances for 11 seconds. Now, as far as True Strike buffs go, this duration sucks, man, especially from a Special 3. 11 seconds is not a lot of time there, but combined with some other stuff, I've got a few hypothetical scenarios where, you know, this might be really, really good and really, really useful. Now, we're going to factor in the brand new signature ability, and then I'll walk you through kind of the hypothetical that I've thought of. So, signature ability, Godslayer. She begins the fight with a Godslayer strike ready. The first special you use will trigger the Godslayer strike, and it triggers like an additional effect. But then it has a 30-second cooldown, and you can actually reduce this via the synergies. So, depending on the attack you use, you get different stuff. Special 1, you've got plus 600% critical damage multiplier. I think once you're ramped up, man, this would be insane. This is going to be a really, really decent strike, I would assume there. But yeah, Special 1 seems pretty nuts, especially if it kind of like synergizes with the cruelty as well to kind of really like rocket that damage up. That could be mad, and also make her quite fun and quite bursty for a lot of matchups if you can just, you know, 5 combo, get to the Special 1 and get stuff down. You know, it might be like a mini little Corvus there if it's jacked up a little bit more. And then the Special Attack 2, and this one seems great for a lot of matchups. Armor break debuffs during this attack gain plus 65% potency, so it increases the armor break to just over 1,000 there, plus 100% duration, so it's a 28-second armor break, and also gains 150% ability accuracy, which I think guarantees that it's going to trigger on every single strike as well. So yeah, that seems really, really good, man. Very, very powerful armor break, which is also going to increase your damage even further as well. So the Special 2, I think the average matchup kind of looks like it is the way to go, because that is, yeah, just going to be so powerful, and you should be able to get very close to, I would maybe assume 100% uptime on that, but I guess it depends how you're playing and how the power is to control. But finally, on the Special 3, we also have, you know, we have the enhanced damage from the beginning, but we also have inflicts a shock debuff, dealing, this is energy damage equivalent to 200% of her base attack over 10 seconds, but this damage is doubled versus robots. So versus a robot character, this is like 360% base damage plus an additional 400% shock damage, which makes it 760% or so of her base attack as damage off the Special 3 against a robot. I think that's going to be pretty damn good, man. But one matchup that I've got specifically in mind, Gamora being a cosmic champion, is Iron Man Infinity War. I think with this signature ability, like even unawakened, let's assume like you find Iron Man Infinity War, you get to like, you know, 15%, you fire off the Special 3, you've got all the damage, you've got the shock damage as well, but then after that, if Iron Man isn't dead, you've got True Strike for 11 seconds, which means you can go in, completely ignore his auto block phase, and just nuke him down. So that's kind of something that I've been thinking about a little bit with the Special 3 there, but who knows what scenarios and uses that's going to have. Also against Darkhawk as well. If you want to use a special attack against Darkhawk, that's going to be sick, because you're going to get the double shock damage, and then he's going to go into, what is it, his shield mode, and you're not going to care because you've got True Strike. So, you know, we thought of 2 scenarios where that Special 3 might be quite useful there. So yeah, I'm so incredibly proud of myself. But also we have the synergies, lads, the values. Now, the Angela one is a little bit disappointing. This one is with Angela and Guillotine. Angela gains plus 10% Fury and Precision buff potency, so not really the game changer I wanted there. The Guillotine one is still pretty hype and could be quite interesting. 50% chance when striking a bleeding opponent to gain a soul charge, so I'm thinking with all synergies, Guillotine could be quite interesting now. And the Gamora one is plus 10% attack if at least 30 seconds have passed during the fight, so it's alright, man, but it's nothing like mad, is it? So just doesn't seem like the absolute best synergy out there. We also have this brand new one with Nebula, which gives Nebula's first Special 1 or Special 2 100% crit chance, so I don't think that's going to be like too insane for Nebula, but it's a nice little bonus there. But Gamora, robot opponents suffer minus 10% ability accuracy for each cruelty buff on Gamora. So yeah, I'm not really too sure how effective this one's going to be. I'm a little bit cynical of it, because I feel like it's just going to take way too long to build up, and the matchups where you need this ability accuracy reduction, I don't know, I just don't see it being like that useful overall, but I might be entirely wrong on that. It just seems like it's got a bit too much of a ramp up in all fairness. So that one, you know, just doesn't really seem that great. However, this next one, we've got Black Panther CW and a coming soon champion. So this is Cybernetics Upgrade Assault. Plus 20% Fury and Cruelty buff potency. This one seems pretty good, man. Pretty good. A nice little enhancement to the Fury and Cruelty buffs, especially if they stack big time, man. That's going to be very, very nice, but nothing back to Black Panther CW and the coming soon champion. Maybe Thanos, maybe another character from Wakanda. Who knows, lads? And then we've got Cybernetics Upgrade Tactics, and this is with Beast and Iron Man Infinity War, and Godslayer Strike recharges 20% faster, and special attacks gain plus 20% attack. So this one, it seems pretty good, man. This one, I think is going to be very, very nice for certain matchups and scenarios, but really, if I had to pick two synergies, it would be both of the Cybernetics Upgrade ones down the bottom with Black Panther, and also Iron Man Infinity War or Beast, because these seem like the really kind of worthwhile ones comparatively speaking. So yeah, I'm not too sure, man, but we're gonna have to see how these ones turn out as well. Recommended masteries are Precision and Assassin for kind of more crits across the board, because it's only specials that have guaranteed crits, and Assassins do, you know, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this champion with a big old Godslayer Strike ready in Assassin's range. Strengths, more time, more strength. You know, the buffs are longer, so they're easier to refresh. With the heavy attack, great utility. She's got armor break, true strike. So, you know, we found a couple of uses so far. I don't think it's the absolute best utility out there, but I think she's going to be a bit of a weapon in terms of damage output. Weakness, buff, and timing reliance. So yeah, you're gonna have to play quite aggressively, and if there's anything that nullifies, it's not going to be the best time, is it? Now, in terms of the developer design notes, some of the goals when updating Gamora was to make her strong but keep her simple, and I think for the most part, like, her abilities, they're really, really easy to understand, very basic stuff, but just adds kind of like a nice little layer to it. I think they've done, just from kind of reading this and imagining how the character is going to be played, I think they've done a good job with that so far, but again, we're not going to be able to tell till she gets into the game. So yeah, they're focusing on two central mechanics: heavy timing and power over time, aka ramp up champions. So in addition to updating Gamora to deal out more damage and have more utility, we also wanted to make her feel more like a cosmic champion. Since many cosmic champions will become stronger over time, we wanted to add the new mechanic that causes Gamora's buffs to last longer the longer she's in the fight. We also added the ability to refresh her buffs with heavy attacks. This is to encourage new players to mix up their fighting styles to keep their damage output growing and higher during the fight if they can land those tricky heavy attacks. So yeah, overall, man, I'm really excited for the Gamora update. We're going to have a ton of gameplay coming out for some of the champion buffs once they hit the live servers on the channel, and just so much to do this week, man, with Nick Fury, Captain Marvel, the brand new Uncollected, Axix around the corner, Nick Fury initiatives. I am a very busy man, but it's good to be, man. It's definitely good to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts below on Gamora in the comment section below. I'm kind of predicting that she could have some god tier ramp up potential, but I think she's probably going to end up either the low demigod tier or the high demigod tier, depending on like how practical it really is to play the champion and how effectively she, you know, deals with these ramp up scenarios. But those special attacks, man, I love champions of hard hitting special attacks, so I might have a little bit of a soft spot there, but you know, we're gonna have to see, man, do a fair bit of testing. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to smash that like button. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.